He's been all over your airwaves and in your dreams. Chris Waktins joins us early. So, Chris, you guys got to get out of here at 12:45? That's what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris joining us early.
Yeah.
The rest of the roundtable will be joining us at 12. Brenden, Frankie is changing a baby. Brenden is on Highway
Frankie's
50.
here. I think he's in a meeting.
Yeah, Brendan's on Highway 50, and they'll be here at 12.
Yeah.
Okay, and we will be fully loaded for the first time. First of all, of course, all season.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say all summer even. I don't know.
I think Frankie did one.
Since my paternity leave.
Yeah,
without a
but
doubt.
I don't know if we did I don't think we've gone full baked potato.
No, Frankie was out because of a different, not his paternity leave, but another paternity leave.
We bring the boom.
So he was doing other
Yes,
stuff.
I forgot about that.
So he couldn't be here. So I said, I called you guys.
Many moons.
I said, this is a red alert. This thing is absolutely fried. But I don't want to do the roundtable before the roundtable, Chris.
Sure.
So let me just get your thoughts on how bad the Kings were, specifically DeMar DeRozan. But how you find a way.
Okay.
When is the last time you saw a free throw percentage start with a 5?
Oh man, it's been a really long time. Probably since I looked at like Ben Wallace's career free throw percentage or something like that.
There were a couple games 2 years ago. I
Not
think they were
the
there.
5s, bro.
50's crazy.
50
if you're
is
in the
nuts.
50s, I'm not saying that whatever. I mean, they might have been, but the point is nonetheless that is generationally terrible.
And I don't know.
That's that is actually unacceptable.
Yeah, you lose.
Like you and I could legitimately go do that.
And I get it. You know, it's easy to say they missed 10. It's easy to say, hey, well, they missed 4. And I understand there's more context to saying if they make those free
it's
throws.
that simple. It is it is actually that simple because like I kind of thought about it and like I think the defense, while in totality was not great. Obviously, the first quarter was good enough. I think they had enough defensive moments to win the game. Like I think again, you hold the team to 120. It's not ideal, but it's
29% from 3.
Not ridiculous. I think Dennis Schroeder's like 8 seconds in that fourth quarter. Like that was a moment defensively where I was like, that's the kind of play that could flip a win and a loss. And I think it really is as simple as if you're not absolutely terrible from the free throw line, like it's not pretty, but you still end up squeaking out that game. And so I think the Kings, it doesn't do you any good, but I do think they did play well enough to win that game. They lost it in the details. They lost it in offensive rebounds. They lost it in free throws specifically. Those two, and then second chance points is in addition to the offensive rebounds, almost 30 second chance points. You're just not going to win when you're giving a team 30 extra points of a second opportunity when you did all the work to stop them the first time.
You know, I honestly thought though, Chris, to the second chance points, I thought it'd be worse. Because the Kings did get
it should have been worse.
You know what I mean? The
100%.
Kings had 22.
Yes, and that's executing your second chance points to the max.
Yeah.
But they just had so many opportunities, so many bites at the apple that the Kings couldn't help. I mean, if you give up, 18 offensive rebounds, they're of course going to score 30 points. Like second chance opportunities in general are usually the easiest points, the most wide open buckets you're going to get. So the fact that they even got 18, honestly, the fact they only held them to 30, I guess to your point is a weird accomplishment.
I thought it'd be worse to 28. And honestly, we've been giving the Kings a little bit too much credit because the biggest lead was not 17.
It was 20.
The biggest lead was 20.
Yeah, they were up 20 at one point.
The biggest lead was 20. The vibes, Russell Westbrook's throwing lobs, things like that. The Westbrook thing, and we're going to talk about Keon, and it's not the doghouse. It's a log house. It's not the doghouse.
Why is it a log house?
It's a log house because of the log jam.
Oh,
so Keon went from being in the doghouse to the log house.
I like it.
That's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
so Russell Westbrook can walk into three-pointers at the top of the key with 20 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It wasn't pretty.
Just for reference, Chris, this was Doug's quote about Keon's minutes.
Oh, I heard.
In these situations, we have a log jam, so it's going to come down to who's playing.
Yeah, that's a great point. It will come
true.
down to who's playing.
It makes perfect
whoever
sense.
Whoever plays ends up getting the minutes.
Yes.
And
whoever scores more
tends to win.
Will win.
Tends to. Yep.
I think.
Yep.
We're having some fun.
I don't know. The Kings.
We love Doug. We love Doug.
Kings were testing that yesterday because they were better in almost every category except rebounding.
Yeah, and Chris, I mean, this is a red alert for me. Did you see with them brothers in Utah?
Yeah, scary.
I don't know.
That's very scary. Did you see what them brothers from Aspiration did to the Kings when they came here in the preseason?
Yeah.
That looked like two completely different teams. And that team, to your point, just got absolutely whooped by Utah. And then Utah's coming in here on Friday. You know what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
2 7-footers starting for Utah. I'm looking at Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler. Both had 20 against Zubac in the front line that they were able to throw out. Brooke Lopez,
they didn't even
John
have bigs.
Collins, all that stuff. And Utah is just Utah is going to be a problem height-wise. Like this is going to be if we thought the offensive rebounding was an issue last night, I think. Honest to goodness, it might be a bad day to do it, but if we're talking prop talk about the NBA on a day like today, I'm looking at Walker Kessler plus 20 rebounds.
Chris, Kyle, I just saw one of Walker Kessler's threes. This is a problem. This is not a Domantas Sabonis free throw three. This brother is in rhythm. Did you see this?
No, I did.
Did you see this?
I haven't gotten to
look at this
to the Jazz highlights.
No, you need to see this.
I was going to watch them later tonight.
No, you were not.
I was actually.
Look at this. This is a problem. Bang.
I think you're over.
That was 100%. I mean, that was.
I think you're overselling.
That's it.
The closest. Where was the closest defender in that clip? He's
Chris,
at the free throw line.
Compare that to
that's a Domantas. That is a Domantas. That is a free three. That is a free throw, as we call them with Domantas Sabonis.
That was quicker. Don't play with me.
The form was quicker?
It's butter.
Okay. This is bad for a radio audience.
It's butter.
This is really bad for a radio audience.
Go look it up.
Let's see Walker Kessler.
Still been spinning the ball.
He's not LeBron. That ain't his signature move. Stare at the ball, flip that thing, do your taxes.
Let's see Walker Kessler hit a step back like Wemby did.
Oh no, it's over. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, no, that's actually
go start the new league.
Yeah, I was thankfully could only switch over to that Mavericks Spurs game like as the Kings were at commercial breaks or timeouts or halftime, and every time I flipped over, it was. Here's Wemby, like, for 3 minutes just controlling the game, whether it be, like, a step-back three-pointer that was an and one. He's literally blocking how I imagine you play basketball on your little basketball hoop with your daughter and how sometimes it's like, all right, I'm going to take this one seriously, and you swat the ball, like, out to the neighbor's yard. That's how Wemby is, like, legitimately treating NBA 7-footers.
That up and under dunk that he had, where he doesn't even jump anymore.
Dumb. Yeah, it's just dumb.
He doesn't even jump.
No.
And then that's because he grew. He's 7'7" now.
The boogieing in between the legs, behind the back. This is crazy. Look, the Kings were discussing in a certain way. This is discussing in a completely different way.
I don't know if you saw Alperen Sengun on Tuesday,
no,
too.
we spent about 20, 30 minutes on it's
5
over.
threes?
No, it's over now.
Come on.
No, and
he's the really one. If you want to talk about somebody who, is actually taking real threes nowadays.
No, he is. And I'm just saying, Walker wasn't even taking threes.
Yes, for sure.
Okay?
For sure.
We out here, look, they already said Domantas Sabonis was 6th best center in the West. If Walker unlocks this,
Wemby's.
Well, if you count Anthony Davis.
Oh, in the West.
In the West.
No.
This is what the streets are saying, Chris.
Oh my God.
No, this is what the streets are saying. Hold on now.
That's crazy.
Wemby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
They count Anthony Davis.
Sure.
They're counting him.
Okay.
We don't have to.
He doesn't want to play center, but that's fine.
Even 5th.
That's fine.
Okay, fine. We call him 5th. Wemby, Sengun. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
They want the streets saying Brenden Nunes, Zubac.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
You're not there yet?
I will fight tooth and nail on that one.
And Kyle, who was the last one?
Give me it again.
Consistency doesn't matter anymore. These days.
I got Wemby.
AD.
No, I didn't count AD for 5th. Wemby. Then you have Sengun. And the streets saying Zubac. There was one more.
That's ahead of Sabonis?
That they said was ahead of Sabonis.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jokic, of course.
Oh, Jokic.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's a difference between bigs and
7th. He's 7th
Even
now.
Jaren Jackson, I would say, doesn't want to play center. That guy doesn't get rebounds.
That still makes him 5th with Jokic.
The other one you were thinking of is Chet. Because Chet's ahead of him now.
And Chet, all these hybrids.
He's not a center. He's
potato, tomato. Brenden Nunes, Frankie Cartoscelli. They join us on the other side to try to figure this thing out.
Good luck.
And you know what? I have no clue if they're going to walk me back or push me further, but that's why we have to get them on the show. Chris is already here.
Yep.
It's a red alert. Are they going to help me push the red alert button, or are they going to grab my hand as it's shaking and say, Allen, we got to pull you back, brother. No more yerba mates. We got to pull you back. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports. We are back. And we are back fully loaded. And for the first time, that was a great album by Ludacris. It is Throwback Thursday, by the way. And it feels like a throwback to have everyone here. And I'm really glad you guys were able to join us and get this thing going for the roundtable. Brenden Nunes, Frankie Cartoscelli, and of course, Chris Watkins. Guys, I'm gonna set this whole thing up, but I need to make sure everyone knows the secret keyword today to get a stay at the Kimpton Sawyer, as well as $200 to Revival and a chance to watch those Sacramento Kings from last night take on the Oklahoma City Thunder November 7th, 916-339-1140. The secret keyword today is court, C-O-U-R-T, where the Kings did not leave it all.
Well,
C-O-U-R-T, court.
Also, wait 30 seconds to text it in because it won't count until 12 o'clock, and it's technically 11:59.
We came back a little early. We'll count you. I know people.
It won't count on the text line unless you wait 30 seconds.
Well, I know people. 916-339-1140. All right, guys, let's get to it. The red alert, the red button's pressed. I mean, what are we doing here? I'm gonna go to Frankie first.
What?
Because I mean, I don't know where you guys are at with this. I know I tend to overreact, but look, at this point, we know now who this team is.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Happy to be here.
Good to see you.
I like we're doing a bit to start the show.
Bit?
What?
I don't do bits.
What do you mean you do bits?
Driving in, I hear Alan tell Chris, "Yeah, man, this thing's cooked."
I mean, you can't beat. Hold on.
Could not believe it.
No, hold on. Hold on.
I'm holding
You
on.
can't beat. You had Grayson Allen.
box score.
He looked like Dennis Schroeder. He looked like the all-star point guard that the Kings brought in to say the 7 assists. They had the same amount of assists, by the way. Grayson Allen, and I told y'all that Grayson he cooks the Kings. He did last year. So go ahead, Frankie. Go ahead,
Frankie. Explain your team.
Explain your
problem.
team. 20 games. They're running, and Neek looked good.
Because I've been really outspoken and optimist,
Yes,
a huge
very.
optimist.
Well, no, you guys are saying it's not cooked.
I think it's been one game, and I think that all of the concerns that we had and that people have about this team, a lot of them were confirmed last night.
Yes.
And there's definitely going to be an issue with the forwards and the bigs and the rebounding. The rebounding was a huge, huge problem last night. And I mean, when you're missing a guy who has 3 straight rebounding titles, that's going to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say if Domantas Sabonis plays last night, they win that game, but it surely helps. And I don't even want to get started on free throw shooting too much because what more can you really say?
When's the last time you saw a 5 to start a free throw percentage in the NBA? This ain't CYO. This ain't Yuba City youth basketball.
Hold on.
DeMar
now.
hasn't missed
Don't
5.
There's some
disrespect.
quality players out there.
No. I'm
Players
saying I
came
got
through
conquered. All right, it's not conquered youth basketball. A 5, as in 50.
DeMar hasn't missed 5s himself since like 2022. I mean, yeah, that's one thing that they just have to knock them down. I'm sure after practice today, we're going to see them shoot free throws.
That's all we're getting.
Now
We're
we
never
gotta-
getting scrimmages
I'm so
again,
on
bro.
the way.
It's over.
Do we
Listen,
have to?
that's what every team does. Let's just be clear.
Run
here.
if you miss.
Yeah.
You're missing 2 guys. Don't run if you miss. How about that? How about worry about Walker Kessler about to come into your backyard? Okay,
We're so
you
bad.
can't have any other flies drop at this point. Go ahead, Frank. I didn't mean to cut you off. You just said this. Go ahead, Frankie.
Go ahead. What? All right. Look, I get it. It's the first game of the year. They have a 20-point lead. They blow it. I think that a lot of us, and I don't know how you guys felt, there was never one moment during that hot start or that 20-point lead that I felt, all right, Kings are coasting. They had this in the bag. That never ran into my mind once.
Right.
And for a lot of other NBA teams, you're up by 20 points in the second quarter, going into half of the 17-point lead. You're feeling pretty good. I never felt that way last night. And that's just because I think we're programmed to know how this team operates. And I think when you look at the hot starts, like Zach LaVine was really impressive in the first half and even into the third quarter. But things went off the rails, obviously. DeMar DeRozan had a huge game. Crunch time, different story. And that's going to be kind of a topic of discussion throughout the year. And I know last year until February, game on the line, you know who's getting the ball. De'Aaron Fox is going to go to work. This year, Zach LaVine, I think he was, 2 of 6 in the fourth quarter or something to that nature. I have it right here. Zach LaVine was 1 of 6 in the fourth quarter. See, that's not going to cut it. So I get the concerns. I'm not sitting here saying this team is fully cooked. They very well may be. I think we all know that the expectations are low. I think I put on Twitter yesterday, I think 37 wins is my prediction. But they're missing some two pretty big, significant pieces right now. And they're trying to learn how to play on the fly with this new group. And I don't think any of us thought coming into opening night, Nate Clifford and Drew Eubanks, and Dylan Cardwell getting minutes too, by the way, but that Nate Clifford will be starting. Drew Eubanks is the starting center. He will be for the next week or so. Dylan Cardwell played 15 minutes last night in his NBA debut.
Pretty wild.
And that's no shot at him either. I think I get the organization's high on him. There's some things he can bring, but the depth, specifically at the power forward and center spots, is just a huge Achilles heel.
They talked about when Doug said, our three centers, they, gave it a good go, whatever it was. You know what the three centers are? Drew Eubanks, journeyman, Maxime Reynaud, second rounder, rookie, and Dylan Cardwell, two-way guy, rookie. That's what you're running out there. That's the only way you lose to the Phoenix Suns without Jalen Green, by the way.
And to make it worse, you don't have a good forward to put alongside them. You're running
Ryan Dunn,
4
10
guards.
rebounds.
Yeah, you're running 4 guards alongside those guys as well. I mean, the rebounding killed you. I'll say that if Domas is out there, I think they win that game. The rebounding for sure. And take that for what you will. He wasn't.
The Suns stink. The Suns stink.
They do. I will also
point out. They were up 20.
The Hawks, who is like the darling of the East coming into this year, they got smacked around by the Raptors. The Clippers, who everybody think is going to be much better this year, got smacked around by the Utah Jazz.
By who? And guess who's coming to town?
Yep. And so we'll see how that goes. But I'm just saying, it is one game. Things happen. And I would point to what you guys have mentioned, the offensive rebounds for sure, the missed free throws, but also Phoenix started switching 1 to 5 in that second half. And I thought they just went a little too iso ball, which is you lose your offensive flow, which is why I do think that Malik made sense being out there instead of Keon. I think that Malik had good minutes. I'm sure we're going to get to the Keon conversation, but there's just little things that need to be cleaned up. It was a tragic way to lose your first game, but they have 81 more.
Do we care about how many games they win this year?
It's a great question.
No.
So I don't see why it matters. To me, especially at the beginning, we're not talking about them fighting for position seeding or whatever that.
I think we were though.
Well, hold on. I to Chris's point though, and I want to just real quick. I think being competitive, right? Is that the whole point?
That was more what I was going to say. Is I would like them. I would definitely like them to beat Phoenix. I think your bigger point, Allen, is that there is some demons coming ahead, and if you're not going to beat the Suns and you're going to beat the Jazz, well, guess what? You have the Thunder, and then you have the Bulls, thankfully, but then you have Bucks, Nuggets, Warriors, Thunder, Timberwolves, Nuggets, Hawks, Timberwolves, all in a row. Yeah. That's a lot of losses. And so I think your point is, with it being done, I mean, it kind of already was cooked. But I just think, I think that, again, I was never looking at this team to win games, a ton of games this year. It's more about how they look. And, I just kind of think in general last night, I think there were nuggets of really good basketball. And I think for the first half, I never thought I would feel that positive about this squad for the entire season. And so, the fact that they played that well in the first half, and we saw, again, defensive moments that I'm going to continue to point at the Dennis Schroeder 8-second violation in the last 5 minutes of the game. Those are really positive signs that maybe there's something here, and who knows? But
when you just said you don't care about the wins, though.
I don't. No, I don't care about the wins, but I think that at some point, there might be a team in here that is better than what we anticipate. There might be a team that is more competitive than what we anticipate. There might be a team in here that ends up that list of teams that I just rattled off. What if they go 5-5? Because they have just a better overall team, more depth than we expected. It's more just that I didn't expect it to look as good as it looked for a half. And I think the fact that they showed signs on the defensive end shows me that maybe it might not be a completely embarrassing season where we're just sick and tired of every game that's played. I think that there were actual moments that made me think that this team could be fun, which was always my argument from this jump, was that everyone was super down on this team. This wasn't going to be fun. It was going to be miserable. I just thought people were going to enjoy them being competitive. And say what we will about last night, that was a fun game to watch. It was a competitive game. I would have rather them not blow a 20-point game, but they did not completely let it go away from them. They continued to fight, and again, they showed moments. So I'm not happy with the loss. I don't think I think that you can't drop games in which you pretty much have to win because you have such a tough sledding schedule right in front of you. But ultimately, like my expectations for this team I just don't have any expectations.
I was going
right?
to literally piggyback and say the expectations, if they're low going into it, you can leave room to be impressed. And I think a lot of us right now, and you play to win the game, I get that. I'm not saying that, you fan how you want to fan. Don't go into the games and be like, well, they're going to lose anyway, so what's No, maybe they will be surprised. Maybe they'll be 3 games back of the 8 seed in February. We don't know. But the point is, the expectations are low, not just us at this table, as a collective, around the NBA, around the league. People view the Kings as, I think many of them are predicting to be 15th or 14th in the West.
No. I hear you on all that. I do. And that's the truth of the matter. That's what it is. The way I'm approaching this is there's always a team that surprises people. And last night, to me, I know it's only one game, and maybe they have time. Maybe they figure it out and they beat some teams that they're not supposed to beat, or Vegas doesn't think they're going to beat. But for me, my low expectations and what I've learned when we talked to Sean Cunningham not too long ago, there are a lot of fans that don't want to blow this up. There are a lot of fans that want to believe that they will be the team. Because Beam Team season, there's always a team. Mm-hmm. Beam Team, they blew Vegas out of the water. Last season, it was the Pistons, right? So there's always a team that does it. So my thought process is my ceiling, and it goes into expectations. I don't know if ceilings and expectations are the same thing, but I felt like the ceiling for this team was, and maybe, Chris, to your point, we saw that in the first half. I know the Suns stink, but we maybe saw that in the first half to where my ceiling is the 8 seed for this Kings team. Now, I might be off my rocker, but that's my ceiling. So when I see you lose, but the only way I feel like you're going to get to the ceiling, unless you mess around and beat some teams you're not supposed to beat, is by beating the Suns without Jalen Green. So to me, my expectations aren't high. They might be higher than others, but that's my thought process going into it. And if, okay, you just lost to the Suns and the Jazz. So the 8 seed, it is a ridiculous thought.
I would just say that the Beam Team season, I think they started 0-4 or something like that. I think that there's just always time. Like that, and again, it would be one thing if they got blown out from head to toe and from whistle to whistle, but I just think that they could surprise us. That schedule is absolutely brutal, and it keeps going. It keeps getting worse. I mean, you've been more pointing at like the first 20 games, which is really like just where it's absolutely brutal, and they might not even be able to recover from playing through that schedule. But I just kind of feel like there was kernels of positivity in there that I don't want to gloss over because they lost a 20-point game, which happens every single night in the NBA. Like, it just sucks that it happened to them on opening night, and it's the only game that we have to go off of. But I just kind of think that last night was to me, they just performed exactly to expect. Like, I think that is exactly what the league expects the Kings to be this season. Sure. And to your point, I mean, I think they just aren't right at this moment shaping one game in. They're just not shaping up to be a team that's going to surprise people. But again, like, we're so early, there's still so much time.
Last season, to your point, Allen, they went 13-30 against teams 500 and above, and 500 and below 27-12. So I get what you're saying. They need to take care of business in these sort of matchups. They also will win some games they're not quote unquote supposed to, and you hope it evens out throughout the course of this season. But I agree with a lot of what Chris is saying, that that's probably a good example of what I'm expecting how this year to go. Not necessarily the ups and downs all within one game, but there's going to be some games where they look like that first half team for 40 of the 48 minutes, and there's going to be games where they look like the second half team for that extended amount of time. So, I mean, again, I think a lot of it just has to do with, like, what is your expectation coming into the year in the first place?
Something that I've been seeing fairly often on social media today, and a couple people said it on the text line, was the adjustments and second half adjustments. My initial thought when I saw that was, I don't know if there were adjustments. I think the Suns figured out because they just had no clue who they were going to be offensively, right? Dylan Brooks took 8,000 shots. And then in that second half, they said, okay, Grayson, take us to the promised land. Grayson and Colin Gillespie and Royce O'Neal. Hey, we're kind of used to playing without Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant anyway. Let's get back. Grayson, you got paid a good bit a couple years ago. Let's put you in the hybrid point guard and see what we can do, rock and roll from there. And it worked. So that's how I took it. And then that affected the offense because the Kings weren't getting stops. They weren't getting into transition, and I think Zach LaVine even shoots the ball much better in transition. That was my thought. I didn't look at it as a Doug not making adjustments type deal, but I want to get your guys' thoughts. Frankie, did you see the second half as an area where Doug and I'm purposely not talking Keon because I want to spend a full segment on Keon, but outside of Keon, would you agree with the idea that there were some adjustments that could have been made, or do you more so agree on my end? Did the Suns just start to figure out because they just had no clue what they wanted to do offensively in the first half?
Kings rotational? Could things have been done differently?
I don't know. Just people are saying that the Suns made adjustments, and I guess offensively, yeah, they made adjustments, and the Kings did not.
I don't know. I mean, in the first half, the Suns were struggling from the field. They really just weren't knocking shots down, and it kind of comes back to and they had a couple good looks, too, and I think the Kings' three-point defense has been under a microscope for a while now. I think they've been near the bottom of the league in three-point defense for years now, even when they were, I'm saying winning, but, the playoffs in the last two play-in years, the three-point defense still has been horrible. And in the second half last night, they kind of turned on its head. They allow Phoenix to go 7 of 17, 41% in the second half. Fourth quarter, I think he was even worse. Fourth quarter, 4 of 8, 50%. There's your game right there. I mean, there's one of your aspects. I know we talked about rebounding, free throw shooting, but it kind of comes back to another Achilles heel of this team. We talked about they don't have the length, the forwards, the bigs. They still have to figure out their perimeter defense. What we see all preseason, and I know it's preseason, but they were getting torched every night on the perimeter. And when that happens, you're not going to be able to survive games in the NBA. If your opponents just get hot from three every night, everyone can shoot threes now or attempt to shoot threes. That's what's going to happen. And I feel like from the rotational, like the Doug aspect of things, yeah, like Brenden pointed out, Malik, what he can do and kind of his versatility and how he can play make. He was knocking down a lot of mid-range shots last night, some tough followays. Like, his offense was dialed in last night. You kind of needed him on the floor when no one else was even bringing that consistency in crunch time.
He was getting hunted a bit.
He was a little bit.
If Malik makes that dunk, nobody is talking about Keon should have played over him.
He was never going to make that dunk.
I
paused it. No, pause it.
He got elevated.
It was not.
Sometimes you got to throw it in.
It would have been a throw in.
That's fine.
That's fine.
He did not. No. I know angles.
What do you mean by that?
It was back rim Johnny.
I'm just saying
who?
So he threw it too far, even. So he wasn't
high enough to throw it.
He was up there though.
Guys, he knows angles. Come on.
He was up there.
I know angles.
What do you mean by that?
I know geometry. Go ahead, Brenden.
I mean, I think the big thing was Phoenix started switching 1 to 5 in that second half, and I think it took Sacramento out of their offensive rhythm, and then you start missing some shots, and Phoenix is able to get in transition a little bit, and I thought that's where they started to get momentum. The crowd starts to get back into it. Some of these guys, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, Colin Gillespie, are hitting shots, and then all of a sudden they have a new confidence to them. So I really thought that it was Sacramento's, I mean, there are defensive flaws here as well, but their offense really getting bogged down specifically in the half court, because also paired with that, not getting your own stops, you're limiting your own transition game, which is where everything gets the most simple for the Kings. So that half court offense just, you're getting switches that are taking you out of your initial action and slowing that down. Then all of a sudden, DeMar DeRozan has someone on him, and he's like, hey, I'm going to take this. This is a favorable matchup, but everybody else is kind of standing around. And that's not just a DeMar thing. Saw it with Zach and Malik and Russ and a bunch of these other guys. But I thought they got taken out of their offensive flow in the course of all that, and it leaked over into everything else that was going on, which is why I think Malik makes sense, because you are in a situation where you're getting a little bit more mismatches. You need more guys that are able to put the ball on the deck and make plays.
Do we know if the Dylan Brooks, DeMar DeRozan thing is actual beef or just Dylan Brooks being Dylan Brooks?
Real beef.
Didn't DeMar say something last year?
They got him in Houston. Yeah. In Houston. I'm not sure what
Right, but I don't know if it's just Dylan being Dylan or there's real beef there.
I feel like I remember DeMar being like, I don't know.
That does not look like fake smoke.
I could be
wrong.
wrong.
No. I guess what I mean. Yeah, I guess to your point, Chris, it's Dylan being Dylan, which has turned into real beef.
Yes,
because of Dylan being Dylan.
Yeah,
it is now.
Yeah,
it is
saying
now.
Like it's any off-court stuff. I don't think it's any off-court
right or any
stuff,
story.
No,
you're asking where does it rank on the
is...
Dylan Brooks beef list?
Yeah, I mean, because he's beefing with everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to see it from DeMar. You got to win the game, but I like to see it.
That's what Dylan Brooks, he identifies who the quote unquote tough
habitual
guy
line
is.
stepper.
Yes.
And he goes after that quote unquote tough guy.
And is that why DeMar missed 5 free throws?
It could be.
I don't think. I mean,
No.
You never know. Yeah, you just
Do you?
I mean, maybe.
how much of free throws is mental?
Yeah,
You know,
can
it's
you
like
say
just
that?
being mentally taken out for half
Brenden,
a second.
I don't know
didn't
if
he
you
miss
can
him in
say
the first quarter though?
No, he missed. He
Missed them all
sprinkled
game.
it.
He
missed them all
He
quarter.
did not
I don't know.
discriminate.
I think it makes DeMar more locked in more than anything.
Yeah.
Like we saw him go at Dylan and have
He was
that
one
really
He
of
had that
three
first
from the
one.
free throw line in the fourth quarter.
He was
who? It is
one of
tough.
3 in
And
the
to,
free throw
to make
line.
it
It is
easier,
tough.
he was 1 of 2 in the first 3 quarters. He went 1 of 3 in the fourth quarter.
After the beef. Guys, let's talk Zach LaVine a little bit. This has been kind of a negative narrative when it comes to Zach LaVine when the game is on the line.
What's
when
a
the
positive narrative of Zach LaVine?
He can shoot.
buckets.
There you go.
He can
There you
shoot.
go.
He had his
then-
highest scoring first half in
was
2
actually
years.
curious.
Yeah. Well, then ... to there's always a caveat.
Yeah, of course.
When it doesn't matter.
Yeah, right.
Right. So that second half, guys, I don't know what the Kings did at halftime. Don't ever do it again. I don't know whatever they ate, whatever Doug said to them. Just don't do it again. I saw Zach miss 2 threes that looked like Dylan Cardwell's free throw.
Oh.
I mean, it did not hit the. It just didn't hit the rim.
Well, did you guys hear G-Man's call? By the way, have you heard G-Man's call? I don't know if Kyle
On the
can pull-
free
I don't know
throw?
if Kyle
Yeah,
can
on the
pull that
free
up at some
throw.
point,
Yeah.
but G-Man's call on
I
the
can
free
send
throw
it
last
to you.
night was. I need your reaction to it.
Pretty
at some
epic.
point.
It's awesome.
It, honestly, I G-Man just is such. He's so gifted, man. He's a treasure, and it made that moment. Yes, it's gonna be.
Let's hear it.
Cardwell tonight in his rookie NBA experience, playing 14 minutes, hasn't scored. There's 1 point. Here's his first free throw, and that one is a total disaster. That is about as ugly as it gets. That's being frank and honest right there. Hello, I'm Frank. You can call me honest. That was just horrific. Oh my gosh. That hit wide left and ricocheted off the backboard. Second one on the way. Looks better. It's good. He gets 1 of 2, but only 10 seconds to go. Still a 2-possession game.
41
41
seasons of Kings basketball.
Wow.
Just love that.
G-Man is just like, man.
It's good.
that's
Because you
pretty
never.
crazy.
Well,
You've
the
seen a
thing
lot,
is,
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's like, I've seen a lot.
I think
I
he
don't know
was
if I've seen
floored
that one.
because the air ball, when you leave it short, is one thing. It's online.
Yeah,
right.
left to right is tough.
Left to right.
You're just
Grayson Allen, before the ball even hits the backboard, knows that is a brick. He's like, oh my god.
Did you see Dylan Brooks
Cardwell
is
tonight
spinning
in his
around?
rookie NBA.
Oh,
Cardwell
my goodness.
tonight in his
Gonna play
rookie
it all
NBA
again.
experience, playing 14 minutes, hasn't scored. There's 1 point. Here's his first free throw, and that one is a total disaster.
Yeah, that total disaster is right, G-Man. But getting back to the Zach LaVine of it, didn't help his narrative, guys. I don't really know what to do with last night. He was so red hot, and then that second half, I don't know if the Monstars took his powers or what, but that was not good. That was not good, Frank.
Spacing is a key issue with this Kings team, and no Keegan Murray really amplifies that, but Zach is your best shooter. He's also your best scorer, and so you want the ball in his hands where he's most effective, but who else is spacing the floor out for him? You have Dennis Schroeder next to him, who honestly teams are not worried about him shooting. DeMar DeRozan teams are not worried about him shooting. And then one of the bigs out there, take your pick, any of the 3, guys are not worried about them shooting.
Right.
You know, and Neat Clifford didn't take a 3 last night, I believe. Right. So there's no spacing for Zach to be able to do anything. All his buckets last night were like these tough leaners, you know, or step back threes, and his step back is nasty. The more I watch it, I'm like, man, every
great.
time he goes left, he's about to step back, and it's probably cash. But he wasn't able to get to the basket. Like there's no spacing that this team is creating for him. The screens to enable him to get downhill weren't there with some of these bigs that were running out there. Maxime does not even fully set the screen and starts rolling early. You know, Dylan is new to that.
Yeah,
Max had a tough.
I
showing.
talked about this during the preseason because everybody knows #say the name. I wanted Maxime Reynaud on this squad. Even in the preseason, watching him, he's not as far along as I would have liked.
Which is fine. Like, he's a second rounder for a reason. He's a guy that is a very raw talent and probably more of a 4 offensively, you know? So it's fine. I'm not like, that's not a, hey, I'm worried about Max's future. You know what I mean? It's to be expected in game 1. But I think Zach was in a really tough spot. He went, 2 of 10 from 3? Sure, you don't mind him taking that many threes, but I just don't think he was able to get downhill, get to the basket with a lack of a big that's helping him do so, and just horrible spacing out there, which is a roster thing more than anything. And I guess maybe where Keon plays into it. Not that Malik isn't a good shooter himself either, though.
Malik, he shot it well last night. He went 3 of 4. I mean, that was one of the best offensive displays you're going to see from Malik in 27 minutes and 23 seconds. Defensively was a different story, but I mean, Doug had to leave him out there. There was just a lot going on. There was a lot of they almost look like hockey line changes at this point. I mean, I don't know. Good on Malik for finding a way to get into a rhythm. They did find him 27 minutes and Russ 18, nearly 19 minutes, which means somebody was left out of this Kings logjam, and we know exactly who that was. That was Ellis Island. Let's talk about the Kings guard logjam, who Doug admitted there was a logjam. Already talking about roster construction. That's great in the first game. When we return, we got the guys. It's Kings Roundtable. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports. For the round table. Now the guys, Chris came in early. They got to run. It's shoot around or practice, fellas?
Practice.
Practice.
Shoot
Okay,
around is the day of the game.
People want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, all I need to know
People want
is
to know.
if you miss, do you run? If you miss, do you run?
Maybe shoot 5 more if you miss.
They should all shoot today their free throws with the other hand. Just to check.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
Just to double check.
Brenden, what didn't they say? Like, we heard them last time. I think one of the coaches was like, yeah, we missed 6 free throws against, I think it was Toronto or whoever, LA, but it's like, so we all have to make 6 free throws in a row before we leave today. Like, whatever they missed, they had to make in a row. So I'm wondering
Each player?
Yes.
No.
Are you sure?
I don't think it's each player. I think it's as a collective.
As a collective,
right? When they go up and like alternate who's
Liners.
going to be the one shooting there. Yeah.
Because that'd be 10 today, wouldn't it? It'd be 10, I think.
Yeah.
They might be getting some cardio when they have a game tomorrow.
We might have time. We might be able to finish.
And you know what? Hey, guys. hey, just real quick here. Being overworked at practice and Keon not getting minutes.
Stop.
Who's the coach? It feels very similar.
Maybe it wasn't a Mike Brown.
Maybe that guy had some solid points.
I'm just double checking. All right,
I
let's
didn't
talk
even
about.
realize that was Mike until the second one, actually.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the logjam. 12 minutes, 58 seconds for Keon Ellis, and nearly 19 minutes for Russell Westbrook. Let's start with you, Chris. Am I over analyzing this whole thing? I know Keon's not a point guard and Westbrook's a point guard, but what?
Just that voice was crazy.
He's not a point. That's what they told us.
I know. It's just that's what they sound. That's exactly what they sound like. That was just hilarious.
You're hot right now.
I just thought that was funny.
Am I? You want to go someone else?
No. I just literally thought that the voice was funny. Your question more so being, it wasn't truly just Keon versus like Russ in terms of that minute load.
More so, just is it ever acceptable for Keon to be the odd man out, especially with Keegan not playing?
I mean, I think so. Like, I don't want to do the whole, like, you know, have we overblown Keon Ellis, the role player thing? But like, I do kind of think I just don't really know where his minutes would have came from. Okay. Like, I was just looking at the first and second half minute charts. It's totally reasonable to just look at the box score and say, like, Russell Westbrook gets 19 minutes, Keon gets 12. How does that happen? Well, Russ's second half minutes, like, Russ played as many minutes in the second half as he did in the entire first quarter. Mm-hmm. So in terms of, like, adjustments and things like that, like, it's pretty clear that Doug didn't choose Russ over Keon directly. Yeah. In my eyes, it was Malik, and Malik finishes the game as well, gets in that closing lineup. I think that was justified based off of how Malik played in the first half. Mm-hmm. Malik had a terrible second half, more so a terrible fourth quarter. I was looking, Frankie mentioned Zach LaVine, 1 of 6 in the fourth quarter. Malik Monk, 1 of 5 in the fourth quarter as well. So
probably not very many good numbers in the fourth quarter.
There weren't, no. DeMar DeRozan was 3 of 4. That's really the only positive thing to shine. I think that he just kind of gave Malik the nod over Keon, and I think that's going to be the case on a night-to-night basis, which between Keon Ellis and Malik Monk seemed to have it going. Malik in that first half could not miss, and so I thought, honestly, in the second half, Malik should have came in sooner. I thought they really needed, when that lead was getting lost, they kind of needed an offensive punch that Malik clearly provided in that first half. I don't know, like, I just didn't think, you know, not that Keon didn't have a good game. He put up good numbers. He had that steal, breakaway, dunk, all of that. It's the classic, like, okay, this guy, you want to put that guy on the bench. Who's coming in for him? That's kind of how I feel about Keon. You want to put Keon in. who would it have been for? Zach LaVine, dude was on fire. Granted, again, slowed down later in the game. DeMar was on fire. He was the only one who was making shots. Schroeder, point guard, he was even playing well. And then there's the big man. So I just don't really know where Keon's insertion would have been.
Brenden?
Yeah, I mean, I think Malik for sure deserved his minutes. They need the playmaking, and Malik is easily a better playmaker than Keon Ellis. If we're talking rebounding, that was a problem. Keon's not helping you there. Mm-hmm. And defensively, I get why people will point to that for sure. I felt like a lot of it was that their offensive flow got totally lost. Mm-hmm. And sure, Phoenix started hitting shots, mentioned all that. But Russ is the one I would look at, if anything, right? And I get why, like to Chris's point, they tried him mainly in that first quarter and then sort of went away from it. This is still very early in the season, and Doug still has to figure out the right answer in this log jam that's going on. Keyword for today, a little hashtag log jam, I guess. Mm-hmm. Or makes me think of Robert Woodard. Shout out Robert Woodard, man.
Hey.
Always in your heart.
Anyway, always. They could use him right now. Not really. But yeah, I mean, I just think that Russ is maybe where those minutes could have came from, because while Keon's not exactly a backup point guard, you run him next to Malik, and maybe Neek is out there as well. You have other guys that can still handle the ball in those moments. So that's really where I would look at it. But I thought Malik deserved to be out there and for sure in that closing unit. So sure, you could have found a little bit more for Keon, but I don't really think that he is solving the problems for the reason that they lost this game.
Frankie?
Well, and even like in a larger picture, it makes me a little, I don't know if concern's the right word. If you're in that kind of camp and you're a big Keon fan, like the concern is Keegan Murray and Domantas Sabonis, they're each going to play probably 35 minutes a game when they come back. I mean, I just wonder how much that's going to change things too, and that might hurt Neek Clifford more than Keon, because you talk about Neek last night got 23 minutes in a starting spot. Keon played 12 off the bench, 13 off the bench. I don't know. It goes back to the logjam and how many cooks in the kitchen there are, and I don't know. It's hard for me to know until we see Keegan and Domas back there about how things are actually going to work. Because if Keon's playing 11, 12 minutes when Keegan and Domas are back, I wonder if that means you're seeing 25-plus minutes from Westbrook and less from Neek. Like, you have to kind of reshuffle the deck a little bit. And I think Neek did, not to change the subject, but I think Neek did a pretty good job in his spot minutes on the defensive end. And he looked raw in a couple areas. But I do think that what he can bring, the upside there, probably you want to focus on that more than Keon, especially when you look at what Keon's contract is. His situation is there. He's an unrestricted free agent coming up next summer.
Whose fault is that, Frank?
Well, we're not gonna. That's a different.
Well, no, I'm just saying, if you're gonna go there, see, man, this is what I'm saying though. This goes back to the Kuminga thing.
I mean, haven't we known for over a year now, though? Like with
part of it?
With Keon, that like if he was as part of their future plans.
Well, why was he in? I don't want to get off track, but why was he untouchable in the Kuminga talk?
I don't think he ever was really on the table. That wasn't really ever confirmed that he was ever. Warriors. It was never confirmed that the Warriors said we want Keon Ellis.
It was confirmed that Keon is not going to be a part of the Kuminga conversation.
Yeah, probably because they don't want to trade him to an interdivision foe and then watch the Warriors give him a new contract.
Sure.
They would rather take their chances in free agency, I'd imagine. But I do think if the Kings were fully in on and undoubtedly committing to Keon Ellis for the future, he would have a new contract.
Wow.
He'd be playing more minutes.
Wow.
For sure.
He would have played more minutes last year. Like, this is a new coach, it's a new roster, new situation. We're talking about the same thing. And I think it's because, which is going to hurt a lot of people probably in the next couple of months, unless he ends up getting an extension, he's going to probably go somewhere else and play more. That's just how I feel personally. Mm-hmm. While we're seeing him play 12 minutes last night, and while we're seeing Westbrook play more, Carball, different position, but playing more, Neek Clifford playing more. Like, we're seeing people that are getting more minutes than him. Malik Monk, like we all talked about, what he can bring. Keon Ellis, not many guards on the team can bring what he can. Probably, maybe nobody right now. So I just think that it's a larger conversation, but the smaller one is he probably just is lower on the totem pole right now, and maybe will be lower once the other guys come back.
Yeah,
I think Domas coming back actually helps him, though, because there's a lack of playmaking specifically last night, and that's why you need Malik out there more. That's why you need Russ out there more. It's easier for Keon to be your point guard if you have Domas out there too.
Yeah, what's funny is the word logjam can mean a couple different things. There can be a logjam and you just have a bunch of guys. And then there can be a logjam because the guys that you have are so high priority. So when I hear Doug after the first game of the season, say that we have a guard logjam, I do wonder. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone, but I do wonder if there is an understanding there. Is this a logjam because we just have so many good guys that we got to keep them all when we know that they were shopping Malik? Or this is a conversation of, hey, and I'm not trying to read Doug's mind on what he's saying or, expand on it when this isn't what he said, but hey, until there's a decision as to who are the guards that we're going to focus on, somebody's going to keep getting left out. Because when he says we got a logjam at the guard position, that tells me, okay, well, everybody already, and Scott Perry's spoken to it as well, but okay, well, it is what it is. We clearly were trying to move Malik. We haven't even talked about Devin Carter because the brother didn't get off the pine, but Devin Carter didn't play at all. I think he could have messed around at some three as well. He got Wally pipped because of Nick Clifford. And at that point, now we're just trying to figure out, all right, well, if is this a logjam due to this doesn't seem like a logjam due to talent. This is a logjam just due to construction. So is there already an understanding in the building like, yeah, we're going to have to do something moving forward? Not even something big, but because Devin didn't even play. So you got to move him. You're not even playing him.
You got a whole season to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think it's
but
going
said it
to
on
be
night
a process.
One. He
For
said
sure,
it on night
but
one.
like, why is that is that surprising? We've been saying this all offseason. I think it's been
but
really obvious.
We're us. But we're us.
Well, I appreciate the honesty that I guess from Doug.
Yeah,
they have a lot of guards on this team.
Yeah.
And they're on different directions and different trajectories. You have guys that are ending their careers, guys that are in the middle, like in Dennis Schroeder's case. You have guys that are trying to figure it out. Like, that's, I think, the biggest problem with this roster and this team right now is there's no clear direction being taken, no clear road. I mean, you have DeMar DeRozan, who's going to be 37. He's played almost 40 minutes. You have Russell Westbrook on the roster. He's almost 37. Like, those are blocking the guys that we talked about. And if you're talking about the young guys like Nick Clifford, Keon Ellis, and down the line, I think Dave's been on his show preaching that for weeks. Like, he'd rather see those guys just play 25, 30 minutes a night. And that's something that from what we've seen so far, is that they're just not going to do that. The Kings aren't going to do that. They refuse to, blatantly tank. Like, they just won't do that. So I think that's kind of the frustrating part of it, because you do see young players like Devin Carter and Keon Ellis. We want to see what they truly are. And we might never find out while they're in Sacramento, because the Kings in this front office and ownership down the line, what have you, they seem committed to trying to put a competitive team out there, as competitive as they can be while having some of those assets as well. But you're blocking those assets, and that's going to maybe diminish their value.
One word answer, guys, before we get you out of here. I know you got to run to practice. Do you feel, you got to answer with one or the other, do you feel better or worse about the Kings after last night? Better or worse, Brenden?
Can I choose or? I'll say, I don't know. I feel the same. Like, I feel the same.
There's got to be a third option there.
I feel the exact same, to be honest.
Thank you, Chris.
You're
Chris
welcome.
stood on business. Frankie, the same?
Exactly the same.
All right, Chris stood on business.
Not surprised by anything.
All right, thank
And
you, guys.
expectations were low.
Be sure to follow all of them on social media. Be sure to follow us, Sactown Sports, all the great work that they're doing on the digital side, Sactown Sports app, as well as SactownSports.com. On the other side, I'll answer the question. I'll answer the question. Maybe Kyle will as well. Do you feel better or worse about the Kings after the first night? And you let me know, 916-339-1140. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
If you're not looking for a brand new car,